Good evening, traders. So yesterday we provided a in-depth analysis of the overall market and shared some information with regards to premiums, levels, and where we see the market going moving forward. Now, in this video in particular, we're going to be going back in time and discuss what we spoke about versus the final outcome. Now, we tend to do this for transparency purposes and to show how detailed our model is and how it can help and benefit you with your trading journey. Furthermore, we will also share the key risks in tomorrow's CPI report and share some insights on different sort of strategies that you can employ to benefit your overall trading journey post the CPI announcement, which is going to be happening at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. So let's go straight into it and discuss the key levels and market information. So as you guys see here, I share a lot of information on my Twitter feed here. You can kind of see I've been providing a lot of levels and analysis over here, right? So near the market open, you guys can see over here that around 9:47 a.m. So that's approximately 15 minutes till market open. I mentioned that SPX looks like it was going to go to 60.30. And in order for that to really happen, it had to really break down under the 60.50 zone here. Okay, you can see right here, bearish breakdown is at 60.50. Now, yesterday, what had happened was that I mentioned in my final notes and analysis that I thought that the market would break down to 60.30 before the market opened, and then we simply rip all day. But we got the exact opposite, where the market actually stayed strong and remained in the ranges between 60.70 and 60.60 throughout the duration. So that held, and during the day here, we had our levels and we spoke about it. Okay, so definitely very confusing day here, as we had noticed that, you know, in the beginning, Nvidia was pretty much the key leader here. Okay, so if you guys have been looking at Nvidia here, what had happened with Nvidia was that it pretty much bounced off this level 1 bearish support. Okay, so this was a very strong support, and we had calls on this, and you guys can see that it ran all the way to 141, unable to break, hit that 200-day moving average, and started to drop. Now, based on that, you can see it stopped exactly at my 134. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions. What does this mean for Nvidia? Okay, so anytime you hit my level 2 bearish, that means the downside trend has been confirmed. Okay, what you will notice happens usually in these circumstances is that this is a strong inflection point. So most of the time, you will most likely see a pop to the level 1 here, and you will most likely see a drop back down. Okay, it will keep pushing back lower until it gets to the estimated weekly low. Now, the thing that triumphs over this analysis comes down to the overall news. Okay, so we are expecting some news on Nvidia this week. Of course, we have the CPI report, which can pretty much change the overall dynamic of the market. But the key news that can really change the outcome of Nvidia has to do with the Broadcom details. Okay, so the Broadcom details is definitely going to be very important, and that can pretty much cause a significant ramp up that's happening on Thursday, the day before. Okay, so let's see if Nvidia can get to this 137 post a CPI report, because that's what we're looking into. Okay, so we did have our 145 calls, which did gave some decent returns. It went to high at around 40%, but we didn't end up selling because we had a very profitable month thus far. So we have heavy risk. Okay, another stock that had a very strong move was this AppLovin here. Okay, so we made puts. We made some nice return on the puts on Monday. You know, we did swing calls as a lotto, anticipating that this will be in the S&P 500, but it hasn't. Okay, now one thing about the stock, it pretty much broke below my estimated weekly low. So once this level really broke, we did play till the 200-day moving average. It bounced all the way to the 360. We gave calls at this point. I didn't sell it, but a lot of members did. and it went up 100%. Now it's gone down here, and I pretty much think that this here may continue to go lower, and it'll probably go to 300. It looks like that's going to be the key overall support here. Okay, so another stock that went beyond our levels here is AMD. Now we did buy calls at this 130 support over here because we wanted to play the news. Okay, it did really pop up to 131 and had a nice open, but overall, because AMD had consecutively bad news, you know, it had the bad news with Amazon mentioning that they don't see the demand for the chips, and Amazon Web Services mentioned that, and also it got a downgrade. Okay, so this stock definitely looked weak here, but other stocks that are definitely corresponding with our levels, you guys can see Tesla, level 1 bullish, it broke through this level 2, that was starting to move. You can see that Amazon pretty much hit our level 1, bounced and closed at right at level 1 bullish. So I think bearish. I think Amazon might see a retreat back there. Let's see if it can hold. Into the CPI report, we see that SMCI, you know, pretty much looks, it hit our inflection point. So want to see if SMCI can make a recovery. We actually managed to sell our puts on this stock for a nice 40% profits as well. Now, another side prediction that we actually made yesterday as well by analyzing market trends is we discussed yesterday that Microsoft adding Bitcoin news. Okay, so we noticed that Polymarket basically assessed that to be a very low chance. Now, the Microsoft shareholders is comprised of a lot of boomers, old school people, so it kind of makes sense why it wouldn't get approved. And in our free Discord, we also have a Jim Cramer bot that is actually pretty funny here, because this Jim Cramer bot is often wrong, just like the real Jim Cramer, and pretty much that has been a great addition. And if you guys ever want to check out the free Discord, we got, you know, Elon Musk bot, we got Eric Cartman, and they're really great people to have in the squad, because they often talk about stocks, and we got Deadpool in there as well. So very nice to have that addition in the free Discord, and they often have conversations. Okay, so PLTR looks pretty weak here. It did have a strong sudden move where it went up positive and then went negative, but still overall weak. Looks like it's gonna, you know, it hit $70 here. So let's see if it can continue to hold this level. It may really bounce off the 70 and can definitely move 5 points. So let's see if that continues to happen. Now, one stock that looks intriguing to me, and a lot of people have been telling me it has a bullish tape, is MSTR. Okay, now that may make sense heading into the CPI report, because you see right over here, bounce off my level 1 bearish right to the money here. And as you guys know, these levels are pretty much time stamped. Okay, so with the timestamp levels, you can see that this is very strong support. This was the exact bottom you see over here. So we want to see if it can get through 420. If it really starts to go, it will hit our next inflection point at 447. So we're watching that carefully moving forward. Now you see that Snow's breaking down, and you see that Apple pretty much, you know, also broke a little bit about our top, and we're watching other stuff as well. We all got out of China. You also see that CrowdStrike hit our estimated weekly low, so and it popped here a little bit, broke down in our bearish breakdown, popped off our estimated weekly low. Now these levels are estimates, okay, but they've proven to be very accurate for many different stocks. There's usually a temporary pop right off our estimated weekly low, and if it is the real bottom throughout the entire week, that's where you can have a proven strategy of making a lot of money here. Okay, so what we did for today here in the room is we made multiple great plays. Okay, so the first play that we have taken today was our SPX puts. Now our SPX puts managed to give us 80% because we bought at the open, and I did mention that those puts can go to 3.5. We bought it at a little expensive price, but we managed to hold throughout the entirety of the day, because I told my team with confidence that once that 60-50 broke, you will see the bearish breakdown, and we could see that go to 3.5. Okay, so we did actually see that go to 3.5, and those puts also printed. Okay, So I'll mention right over here. Yeah, so we said I could go to 3.5, and it actually did that, and we made some nice return off that. Now the Microsoft puts that we had, so this is based off the indicator that we had. Okay, I kind of sold this a little bit too early for Microsoft puts, and the reason why we got it is because they didn't add Bitcoin, and pretty much we sold it at they market around 443. We took around 30%, but it ended up going to around 60% because we didn't want to have the risk of swinging these puts, especially on Microsoft, where it's a boomer stock and it doesn't really tend to move. So that was a nice addition. Now, one trade that I'm kind of aggravated about here is we took UPST, which we waited for to go to 2. Now UPST, the whole plan was to swing regardless, but now that it hit my level 1 bearish, we should have waited for that. It's very possible that I can go to $82 if the CPI is good. I often see that this stock here is very, very bullish on CPI. So keep an eye on this stock here, because if the CPI print comes low, then you can likely see that this stock runs if yields drop. So this tends to really move, and above 82 bucks, this can start to really pop to around 85. We got a target on this at 86. Okay, so just to summarize here everything, tomorrow I am bullish, okay, because SPX hit its estimated weekly low. I think the market was primed to dump towards our estimated weekly low. We got the pre-market sellers out, and that's one of the reasons why we decided to take our SPX puts. Okay, so if you guys can look here, we decided to get the puts for tomorrow, they calls for tomorrow, the 60-70s. Okay, so we believe that this might be the potential downside. We got in at around 2.6. So if it can really go, guys, you can probably see these potentially go to around $10, maybe even 20. So be aware of this. If this really goes, we may see SPX go to 6,100. And if that is true, then based on our model over here, and this is the exact bottom, you may see SPX open at 60-70, and it could potentially try to retest all-time highs depending on the outcome of the CPI. In the previous CPI reports, we haven't seen the market really move, but it's very possible it may happen moving forward. So I hope you guys enjoy this information. We'll definitely do these videos on an ongoing basis to ensure the level of transparency in the room. We've been crushing it nonstop with our SPX plays. Our mentorship is growing, and we're seeing continued success. So if you guys are interested in joining our services and want to learn, I personally coach a lot of my members. Please feel free to sign up in the link below, and we'll see you guys on the inside. Thank you for tuning in, and like always, let's get that money.